A middle-aged man with unkempt scruff and glasses that were slightly too small for his round face poured water onto a stone that was heated up by the afternoon sun. I watched as the steam rose up from the rock and disappeared into the sky. It seemed to me as if he was washing away the trials and tribulations of the week and creating a clean slate as the new week approached. Although the burial stone was engraved in Hebrew, a language I at the time vaguely knew, I found myself being able to translate one phrase that left my heart feeling like it sunk to my feet. He was just 19. One haunting thought lingered in my mind as I held back my tears. That could have been me. I walked up to the man who had eyes filled with pain and sat down on the bench beside him. Before I could ask him to tell the story of his son lying peacefully under the garden of flowers, he had already begun to speak. He told me how grateful he was that I was interested in hearing about his pride and joy, and how not many people care enough to stop and listen to the story of one person when in the presence of a graveyard full of hundreds. The father explained how his son died after only his first year serving in the Israeli Defense Force by a tragic accident at the border. As he went into depth about his son's charisma and how he was known to keep a smile on his face even in the presence of challenges, it seemed so unfair to me that a young and vibrant person could have his life stolen so abruptly. When the man began to explain how unbearably hard it is to sleep at night not knowing where your only son is, I started to think of my own parents. It always seemed so annoying to me that my mom would text me every 5 minutes when I was out with my friends. She tells me that my safety is her top priority and that I wouldn't understand till I have kids. But in that moment, I felt what it was like to be scared of losing someone who means everything to you. Perhaps the idea never seemed real to me until I saw what losing your only child looks like in the eyes of the parent. In that moment, I told myself to never question the numerous messages I get from my mother, because how lucky I am to have someone who cares so much about me, and more importantly, how lucky she is to have a child that comes home alive every night. A 19-year-long story, compressed into half an hour, was coming to an end, and I had tears in my eyes. The father beside me saw my tears and wiped them away. He told me that his son would not want me to cry at his loss, but rather be proud that he sacrificed himself for the protection of the people he loves. I smiled, understanding how much admiration this Israeli father had for his son. As I walked away, he grabbed my arm and looked right into my eyes and said, "I don't want you to leave this grave with sadness in your heart. I would much rather you leave here with the motivation to create the future that you are so passionate about, because my son never got to." Those two sentences ignited a flame of inspiration within me. That hot summer day in Israel, as I watched a father dance to his son's favorite song while washing a week's worth of dirt from the gravestone, opened up a wellspring in me that I'm only just beginning to know, as if my experience were a series of connect the dots, and this dot in my life uncovered a hidden